Hi, today I want to talk about Mary Parker Follett. She's one of the more interesting people in the field of management, and I think you'll enjoy having a chance to sort of see how she thought about things. The picture I have of her is the only known picture of Mary Parker Follett. She must have been somewhat camera shy, but because this was never, even though it was the 1920s when there were lots of pictures around, her picture does not show up anywhere in her detailed biography in all kinds of places I looked. She's a person who grew up in an era when women had limited opportunities for education. She studied at Radcliffe because she wasn't accepted to be, because she wasn't a male and couldn't be at Harvard. Although she did so well that she was actually allowed to be a kind of an auditor in some of the classes at Harvard. She has started out her career in political science and wrote some very well-regarded books about the functioning of the Speaker of the House of Representatives in the United States. She shifted to being involved with the social work movement and what were called settlement houses. And then from 1920 to 1933, at the time of her death, she was involved heavily in thinking about organizational theory. If you were going to a big conference in the 20s and you wanted to hear who was the big speaker, Mary Parker Follett would be the one you wanted to go to. She was also a member of the Taylor Society, which meant she was very much intrigued with Frederick Taylor's writings. She's writing between World War I and World War II, booming economy prior to the Great Depression, growing labor unrest, a highly professionalized management profession is developing, and the work roles, as you will see from the reading, are very closely related to gender. Some of the language that's used in the essays would be seen as very out of date today, and that's the way it is. In spite of whatever these shortcomings, Warren Bennis, who's one of the really prominent thinkers about management in the last 20 years, says just about everything written about leadership and organizations comes from Mary Parker Follett's writings. I wouldn't go that far. What I would say is that almost everything we read about leadership today has a precedent in Mary Parker Follett's writings, which may or may not have been in anybody's mind when they're writing the book or the article. But certainly she predates many of the things that we now understand today. And so she's sort of fun to work with from that point of view. What did she talk about? Well, she certainly saw the flaws in the top-down systems of management. Giving orders doesn't necessarily create efficiency in her point of view. She also understood that people's interactions are circular. When I talk to you and you talk to me and we clarify things back and forth, we come out to new points of view and new understandings that are very different than if I say, do it this way, and you say, yes, sir. That may be efficient in the short run, but over the long run, it's very inefficient. She understood that that the greatest power in an organization comes when people learn to work together to create new solutions to existing problems or to create new products. But it's the working together is where the power is really released. And she also reframed the nature of conflict in the workplace. She saw conflict as a good thing, as a way of trying to clarify what issues are and to develop new solutions. So she really refocused how we thought about the role of leaders compared to what we read in Frederick Taylor. I hope you enjoy reading her. Thank you.